Today is the day that I bring to you a question that everybody usually has their pick. I also had mine. I realized that we got it all wrong. I got it wrong. I had it wrong. You got it wrong. I'm about to prove it to you. So the question is, who is the rawest, baddest, kick-ass, I'm just talking about baddest motherfucker of all time when it comes to fighting? I'm talking about the meanest, hardest punching, knock a motherfucker out with one punch, leave you bloody and almost dead after the fight. Who would you pick? That goes for professional boxing, UFC. I mean, whatever you want to pick, whatever genre you think. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all what my answer is. I used to always feel like it was Mike Tyson. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all said that. Mike Tyson, right? And we got the proof, even though, he had a downtime and everything. But I'm gonna tell you who I believe it is. This guy here had no training. And he did something very courageous, which is deciding to fight against people who have been professionally trained since they was teenagers or younger. Let me tell y'all who that is. Kimbo Slice.
Add some kicks and some knees.
Yeah.
He had to play catch up. Starting combat sports at 33 years old is a tough journey.
This man is making his cage debut right here for the CFFC.
In Kimbo's first pro fight against former boxing heavyweight champ Ray Mercer, Kimbo is said to earn $50,000 to fight with a $25,000 bonus to win. Unprecedented amounts for a rookie fighter. It's a sign of Kimbo's internet popularity.
You'd be lucky as just a general pro fighter to make $1,000. As a UFC fighter during that time, $7,000 to fight, $7,000 to win.
I knew what his worth was.
Lots of MMA fans don't share that opinion.
People wanted to say like, oh, he's not really even a good fighter.
All these naysayers that were online, these are people who don't train, don't fight. They have absolutely no idea what it takes for a guy like that who is this high on the internet to take a professional fight.
This man is a boxer with a professional boxing record of 30.
My dad was never intimidated by no one he fought. Never. Never.
10 minutes before the fight, I said, cross your hands in front of you, make sure that you keep looking, and just bull rush him against the fence. And he actually did it.
Round number 1, scheduled for 3. He touches Ray with a shot. Ray ties him up. Kimbo the aggressor tries to grab Ray and drive him down the cabin.
That's the moment that I knew he's going to go really far, because he's actually listening.
There we go! You see the way Kimbo was able to break that. He's so strong. He's actually got him inside control. How about this?
1 minute and 12 seconds into the fight.
Son of Kimbo Slice.
Kimbo didn't start in UFC.
He didn't really have his dad in his life, so he tried his best to be like the best version he thought he could be. He had a bike, and he used to have me like in the basket, like riding around with him everywhere he went, practice, even school. And the teachers let him. Like they liked him so much that they let him.
Kimbo's size, strength, and athletic ability earned him a football scholarship at University of Miami.
He really wanted to become a professional football player. That was his first dream.
A dream that will get blown away by a Category 5 hurricane.
In Florida, where the storm was strongest, up to 250,000 people have lost their homes.
And Kimbo loses his chance to play Division I football.
Everything stopped. No school. I don't think he played his last couple games.
Kimbo's scholarship is withdrawn on account of the shortened season.
That year was just a bad year. You know, Hurricane Andrew came through and just destroyed everything.
It just didn't work out for him.
He was 18 at that time, you know, with a kid. So I know it was probably tough on him.
Imagine that, losing everything to her in 18.
And then he was just struggling, trying to figure out what it is that he wanted to do.
For the next decade, Kimbo bounces between colleges and jobs.
And you black and everything.
At those times, you know, people just wasn't hiring. We all do what we have to do to make a living, you know, and to survive.
Including sleeping in his car while working as a bouncer at a strip club. In his late 20s, Kimbo's earning too little to support himself or his family.
We're talking like $30, $40 a night from 5 in the afternoon till 6 in the morning, you know, and you hoping that you will make a little tips by these guys coming in, you know, giving you $1 at the door. You know, how many dollars you think you're gonna get?
I showed up at the strip club, and who was working the door was Ferg. We just weren't in touch over those years, and it was meant to be that we bumped back into one another. I had a business that we had just got started in. Reality Kings was an online conglomerate of adult pay sites. I was able to like offer him a job for us to work together.
I got a question. What is an adult pay shop? I mean, I'm sorry, adult pay site. What is that? Anybody know what an adult pay site is? I never heard of it. Like, is he trying to say something else? Like, what is he talking about?
He was just driving and working as like security. He had this like real shitty Pathfinder with like the windows broken out. I just didn't know that he was actually using it to stay in. I wasn't able to pay him a lot of money to start. If I knew my guy was sleeping in the car, I would have figured something out. He never really asked for anything like that. You know, he's a very prideful man and he wanted to make more money. I was like, well, I've never seen you lose a fight.
Mike Imber has an idea. His time running porn websites tips him to another kind of online adult entertainment. Bare knuckle backyard brawls.
We could just go to the different neighborhoods, find out who they got, and I'll bet on you, and you'll keep whatever you win. I knew that he wasn't going to lose.
He used to tell me about it. He was like, Renee, I'm gonna do these backyard fights. And I'm like, you seriously, you have to do this? He was like, yeah.
Kimbo's chance comes in 2003.
I got a phone call, and it was like, Ferg, would you fight Big D for like $1,500?
Tell him when he's ready to come see me, man.
I'm like, right now? Hell yeah.
He's supposed to be the baddest guy down south or whatever, the bully or whatever. So I'm gonna fight him. And I was like, okay, yeah, Kevin.
And then it went from, you know, if you win, you get $3,000.
I definitely remember the first time I saw Kimbo Slice. Like many, it was on YouTube. Getting out of the Hummer and just throwing down.
Remember when my boy Kimbo first started? Ooh.
We pretty much take it all. Fridges, dishwashers, dressers, drawers, couches, mattresses, bed frames, concrete, things like that. Same day notice or 3 weeks in advance.
That's what you...
It was just so raw. Vicious and brutal.
When I seen it, I'm like, oh my God.
Someone shared the link with me. I was like, I can't believe people do this. This is crazy.
The way it was filmed, this wasn't scripted.
Nigga, that's
It was just something I'd never seen before, and I couldn't look away.
He told the guy to hit him. I'm like, don't do that.
As long as he ain't get knocked out, I'm fine.
He executed that one. I'm like, okay, yeah, all right. So finish him, we good.
And he just ate him.
Left side. Watch out with that thing, watch out with that metal thing, man.
The guy's eye looked like it was falling out a little bit.
You can do this.
No, I'm saying good shit, dog, all right?
Slicing open Big D's eye earns Kimbo a new last name. He's now Kimbo Slice.
It was like a movie. Who the hell is this guy?
All day.
I ain't never gonna question you, partner.
All day. What?
I'm like, oh my God. So how many more of these you have to do?
Damn, you got, oh man.
When he came home that day, he had like this white bloody towel, bloody pants with like a stack of money.
Somebody hit me up and they're like, look, man, this thing's got millions of views on YouTube. I'm like, might have something here.
Kimbo was like one of the first internet celebrities.
A friend of mine called one day and he's like, look, I got a possible fight for you. Crazy thing is he's a cop.
Sean Gannon, the great white hope cop from Boston versus Kimbo Slice, has the street fighting world bursting with anticipation.
It was definitely a war.
From the start, the fight does not disappoint. Gannon pulls out a martial arts move called the guillotine choke. In street fights, chokeholds are banned. Kimbo exhausts himself fighting his way out of several holds.
It was a moment where you saw that he wasn't invincible, that he was indeed human.
Sean Gannon got beaten to smithereens.
I never knew Kimbo got whooped like that so early. I thought he just whooped everybody, in the beginning of his career. I just learned something. Kind of heartbroken. Yeah, I'm heartbroken, not gonna lie. Yeah. Still a bad, still a bad one. Still a bad one.
And requires several days in the hospital to recover.
Still fucking
But
with him.
Sean Gannon won.
The internet doesn't care.
Everybody was talking about Kimbo.
Kimbo is him.
He was a video game boss that came to life. He was as wide as a buffalo. He was mean when he fought. He talked trash, and the trash he talked was funny.
I'm gonna try to make him bleed, piss, fart, shit, throw up, burp, whatever the body does. I'm gonna try to get him to do it.
We were at the Miami.
Hey, who knows somebody like Kimbo? I know a couple of them. Nigga, hell no. Come, play one. But to give you anything off their back, though. Hear me? Yeah. And don't try to bully nobody around them either. Yeah.
Arena, and Mike Tyson called him over. He said, I'm a big fan of your work. Could I give you a piece of advice? He's like, don't ever go pro. He's like, keep doing what you're doing. But, Kimbo was looking at him like, knowing, here you are, you made hundreds of millions of dollars. I'm fighting in the backyard.
Kimbo does not take Iron Mike's advice. Instead, he starts down a professional fighting path he won't live to regret.
I was working for Cage Fury. They wanted a main event. And I said, I got the guy. It's going to bring in everybody. I said, Kimbo.
Then it's like, we want to have him fight Ray Mercer. No amateur fights, no warm-up, no anything. His first pro fight was against an ex-heavyweight champ of the world, gold medalist.
In just 2 months, an untested and untrained 33-year-old Kimbo Slice will step into his first MMA cage.
While this was all happening, I had a friend who was in a weekly card game with Lennox Lewis. Lennox was like, Mercer, hey, he hits really hard. Lennox just beat Mike Tyson. I'm listening to this, I'm like, I think we better get our shit together.
No, Kimbo. No, Kimbo.
I'm only going out one way.
From the network that brought you Dark Side of the Ring.
Guys, I'm incredible.
I'm the co-owner of Bas Rutten's Elite MMA. I was Kimbo Slice's boxing coach.
Get him, Kimbo! Get him!
This guy is just a pure fighter.
The fact that Kimbo decides to go into mixed martial arts after he's been an internet sensation, that says everything about his personality. Kimbo wants to be the best fighter on the planet. My name is Bas Rutten. I'm a former UFC heavyweight champion, and I helped Kimbo when he became a pro fighter from his very first fight against Ray Mercer.
As a student, he really came in like a dry sponge. He never really sat down with any coach and learned the skill of combat sports. Obviously, he had technical ability. He was strong, he was fast, he moves his head really well, his footwork was really good. He was throwing a lot of hooks. So what I wanted to do right away was teach him how to throw a straight punch. But his ground game was nothing.
Thankfully, he had already an open stance. Everything becomes more powerful.
everything.
We needed to add some kicks and some knees.
He had to play catch up. Starting combat sports at 33 years old is a tough journey.
This man is making his cage debut right here for the CFFC.
In Kimbo's first pro fight against former boxing heavyweight champ Ray Mercer, Kimbo is said to earn $50,000 to fight, with a $25,000 bonus to win. Unprecedented amounts for a rookie fighter. It's a sign of Kimbo's internet popularity.
You'd be lucky as just a general pro fighter to make $1,000. As a UFC fighter during that time, $7,000 to fight, $7,000 to win.
I knew what his worth was.
Lots of MMA fans don't share that opinion.
People wanted to say like, oh, he's not really even a good fighter.
All these naysayers that were online, you know, these are people who don't train, don't fight. They have absolutely no idea what it takes for a guy like that who is this high on the internet to take a professional fight.
This man is a boxer with a professional boxing record of 30.
My dad was never intimidated by no one he fought. Never.
10 minutes before the fight, I said, cross your hands in front of you, make sure that you keep looking, and just bull rush him against the fence, and he actually did it.
Round number 1, scheduled for 3. Oh! He catches Ray with a shot. Ray ties him up. Kimbo, the aggressor, tries to grab Ray and drive him down the cabin.
That's the moment that I knew he's going to go really far, because he's actually listening.
There we go! You see the way Kimbo was able to break that. He's so strong. He's actually got him inside control. How about this?
1 minute and 12 seconds into the fight, Mercer submits to Kimbo's guillotine chokehold. It's the same move Sean Gannon used to beat Kimbo in their infamous street fight.
He wins, he freaking wins.
And gets noticed by another MMA fight promotion, Elite XC.
He won by submission. We never knew he had submissions. My name is Rich Chow, and I worked at Elite XC as a matchmaker. So all of a sudden, that gave us this whole different angle. What if he does commit to real training with great coaches and in the right environment? Who knows what he's capable of? However, we knew it was going to take him time to learn and develop the game. And there was an understanding that maybe we don't have years and years and years for him to get there.
So, after signing him, Elite XC waits only a few months before setting Kimbo's first fight against Bo Cantrell.
Bo Cantrell was a great guy for the first fight because he had the edge in experience. He was a big, strong heavyweight that could knock people out.
My very first time going out and photographing him was at his gym ahead of his fight against Bo Cantrell. My name is Esther Lynn, and I am a photographer with a specialty in combat sports. And I had the pleasure of photographing Kimbo Slice. You know, you hear people talk about how certain fighters or certain celebrities or whatever, they have it. And I think he just had it. I couldn't believe every single photo I took of him I liked. He definitely understood how to sell a fight.
The Bo Cantrell fight was the big deal because that was the first one really on television.
Heavyweights in action as Kimbo Slice his official mixed martial arts debut.
He rolls in, boom, here's this guy. The Kimbo brand was Miami. It was badass, and it was raw and underground.
If I give you submission, then he just got to break the arm. I'm not tapping out.
People started to think about those backyard brawls and people's eye hanging out.
Kick him in his face, break his arm, break his jaw.
He won an MMA fight against Ray Mercer. Make no mistake. People were scared of Kimbo.
Including perhaps Bo Cantrell.
Do you think Kimbo's reputation helped in that way?
I think Kimbo's reputation definitely helped him. At the weigh-in, he wouldn't look at Kimbo. He just looked really, really, really scared before the fight.
Did you know that you can have permanent teeth in just 24 hours? That's right. Only 24 hours and your new smile is ready. And with affordable payment options, achieving your dream smile.
When he got hit, I think he just went down. He didn't want to take another punch.
That's got to be some kind of a record. At just 19 seconds of the opening round, Slice dropping at just 19.
He wouldn't look at Kimbo. He just looked really, really, really scared before the fight.
Okay, that's how they did.
When he got hit, I think he just went down.
This one is over.
Nah, they ain't just so.
He didn't want to take another punch.
Hey.
That's got to be some kind of a record. At just 19 seconds of the opening round, Slice dropping Cantrell like names at a Hollywood party, and this guy is destined for stardom in mixed martial arts.
Kimbo's lightning-fast KO of Cantrell supercharges his celebrity.
He was everywhere. He was like doing conventions, signings, showing up with like celebrities. He was ubiquitous.
The Street Fighter is quickly becoming less South Miami and more South Beach as his fame migrates from YouTube to network TV.
It's the nice walk.
When he got invited to the Jimmy Kimmel Show, I'd never thought in a million years he would make it to that stage.
That felt huge just because at the time, most people still kind of considered MMA like human cockfighting.
Do you like punching people?
Yeah.
You do. Do you ever feel bad afterwards?
Nah.
You never do?
Nah.
You never, even if a guy's like spitting out his teeth, you there?
No, not at all. But when the fight's over with, I'll say what's up, help him out, whatever. Be like, yo, you got to go to the doctor, man, get that checked
out. I wish a nigga would whoop my ass and then tell me to go to the doctor. First of all, I'm going to call the police on you because you fight too good. You hear me? Yeah. And you're going to pay my doctor bill. And I'm going to sue because it's like I got hit by a car. Stop playing with me. Yeah.
Kimbo always had charisma.
Call them YNs. You feel me? Because I ain't got no switching. You did. Switch talk. Yeah, stick talk. How are you? Yeah. Okay, I'm done with y'all.
He could make you laugh. The fact that he was goofy and happy was very disarming. It's fun to see somebody who's so scary and also not scary. He was that bridge between like pop culture and like this fringe sport.
I mean, yeah, just about to say. Wall of Fame. This is the Wall of Fame.
The fame, none of it was planned. But he understood the more viewership, then the easier the negotiations are going to be going for the next contract.
But real talk, check me out on kimboslice.proleague.com all day. That's how we do it.
The allure was there, and people just wanted to see him fight.
And keep winning.
We are just minutes away from our main event, Kimbo Slice versus Tank Abbott.
Kimbo Slice versus Tank Abbott in Miami. Easily one of my most memorable and favorite events. The energy, the electricity.
This was going to be his coming out party in terms of like, this is where we're going to finally get to see Kimbo fight a fighter with reputation.
He was fighting an ex-UFC heavyweight champ. Tank was not in his prime, but he also was still extremely dangerous.
What a start already to this main event. Just listen to this crowd.
When I looked into the crowd, those weren't fight fans. They were here to see Kimbo Slice, the phenomenon.
I'm like, wow, my brother finally made it. For him to blow up and make it like he did, for the world to see, I was so proud of him.
We got a police escort all the way to the fight. I've never seen anything like it. They're not escorting anybody unless they're the president.
The extra security, the extra police, the police escort. This was not your average fight. I knew at that moment we had crossed over. He was a superstar.
This is showtime. Okay. That right hand really hurt Tank. Uppercut. Tank Abbott gets another right across the jaw. The third one's the charm.
He ended up knocking him out in like 40-some seconds.
The fight takes Kimbo.
See, he completely missed his chance to say. He completely knocked him the fuck out. Like Chris Tucker, like you got knocked the fuck out, man. Like he missed his chance.
From street brawler to MMA certified.
Listen to this crowd. This is insane.
It was what the crowd wanted to see.
And this reaction, this is loud.
At that point, he was still invincible, and that's how we felt.
After that was when it like really, really bad stuff happened.
Man, what happened next?
I'm only going out one way.
From the network that brought you Dark Side of the Ring to the world of MMA.
Going well.
Kimbo fuels UFC competitor Elite XC all the way to prime time.
MMA on network television, on CBS for the first time.
I remember going, our sport is on national television. We did it. The sport did it.
Not everybody was happy about Kimbo headlining.
One of his loudest critics has a lot to lose by Kimbo's success. Dana.
Anybody ever achieved something? You ever been successful at anything that nobody believed in you with? Like, everybody knew the odds was against you and nobody put a hand out to help you, but they all watched and act like they were rooting for you while praying on your downfall? Anybody ever been through that?
White, the UFC's president.
Kimbo Slice would get murdered in the UFC. Kimbo Slice is a street fighter.
Kimbo Slice sucks.
Coming up, folks, our main event. Kimbo Slice against James Colossus Thompson.
Elite XC responds to the UFC sniping by upping its game.
For this fight, they put in a lot more effort into the camera work, into the stage, into the walkouts, into the pyro. They hired like a bunch of dancers, and so it did feel like this grand experiment in trying to compete with the UFC.
Now, they just need their star attraction to also step up.
They want to see what Kimbo could do against a veteran guy like James Thompson. He had the same physique, if not bigger than Kimbo.
257 pounds.
James came to the weigh-in, and his ear was just completely inflamed. It was huge.
How many sales calls could you book if you sent 50,000 cold emails per month?
When you push the button, is the buddy gonna be on the ground again?
I mean, Alex books 200 calls in a single month for his cold.
About to see. 5, 4. No.
That first round, Kimbo got hurt.
Everybody who said he was still gonna be standing, y'all won the day.
All I really remember was just feeling like, oh shit, what if he loses?
He dug deep.
In the third round, Kimbo's trainers get into his ear about his opponents.
Boz and I both told him hit the ear.
I would say that Thompson right now is probably ahead.
It exploded.
The ear juices got all over the photographer next to me. It was gross. It was actually truly gross.
38 seconds into round 3, Kimbo is declared the winner. It's also a victory for CBS.
CBS wanted Kimbo in that primetime slot. You know, it's their job to deliver ratings. Having a really exciting, dramatic finish was what we wanted, and we got that. They wanted everything to build up to this massive viewership moment, and they got it. Boom, there it was.
34-year-old Kimbo is the hot, not-so-new face of MMA, making the cover of ESPN magazine.
Man, was he just the biggest thing coming off network television.
When we're out in public and the fans, they want to meet him, he's still Kevin to me.
The material things is what changed. The cars got more fancier. The gifts got bigger. Everybody had their own room, went to a good school.
He don't love nothing else. He love his kids. He always tried to find ways to take care of his family. Like, he needed those fights.
And the bigger he gets, the bigger the backlash.
Why is this guy in ESPN magazine? Why isn't it me? You know, I'm 15-1. I fight in the UFC.
Kimbo's recent victory over James Thompson energizes his support.
Has died in a South Florida hospital last night. His death was sudden and unexpected.
One of the worst things to experience is, you know, somebody that you care so much about and went on this crazy life journey with, and not really being able to say goodbye.
Kimbo was a real, legend, man. Still is, man.
Being his oldest sister and always being able to protect him, I couldn't deal with that.
Man.
I couldn't deal with that.
Big motivation coming from nothing, being homeless, man. Homeless father made it happen.
I was there to the end.
You did that. No matter what they say, you did that. And you was an ugly, scared. Rest in peace, man.
My dad was always preparing me for his death. I wouldn't say he knew, but he just always prepared me for if something was to ever happen to him. So when it happened, I'm like, life goes on, it doesn't stop.
Because his son got the dreads on the top.
But Kimbo dying while awaiting a heart transplant does cause the MMA community to pause and reflect.
Freaking heart transplant. Are you kidding me? Right away went back to that Dada 5000 fight, and I was pushing him not knowing he had a heart problem. I never knew about his heart. Nobody knew. Apparently Kimbo knew, but he didn't want to tell people because then we would say, hey, fighting is over. And fighting was his passion. The things he did, stamina-wise and training-wise, with his heart, it says a lot about the person he is.
I don't think a lot of the traditionalists realized the age they came in at.
Today is the day.
You have to understand, he had a lot of injuries.
Shelf life of a fighter. I mean, you're probably at your peak at 28, 30 years old, and after that, by the time catches up to us, and if you have a condition like that, it puts even more of a strain on it.
And
then knowing yourself that your heart is not good, but then still go through it, that's a special human being. If you take a guy like that back to his like 20 years of age, to a good coach, I think he could have been a real a big fighter.
He would have died in the cage to have made that money for his family, even though it wasn't necessary. To him, it was.
Coming from nothing, being homeless, and all of a sudden making the money that he was making, and able to support his family that he never probably dream of.
I knew what his worth was.
His character to it.
Lots of MMA fans don't share that opinion.
If you
People
knew
want
him,
to say like, oh, this is, he's not really even a
he
good
was
fighter.
that good of a guy.
I respected what he did. I knew where he came from. I knew how he had to get there.
Could he have been better if he had started
absolutely
earlier?
no idea
Maybe?
what it
Yeah.
takes for a guy like that
He
who's this
struggled
high
throughout
on
his
the
whole life. He
internet.
got
I'm gonna tell y'all what my answer is. I used to always feel like it was Mike Tyson. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all said that. Mike Tyson, right? And we got the proof, even though, he had a downtime and everything. But I'm gonna tell you who I believe it is. This guy here had no training. And he did something very courageous, which is deciding to fight against people who have been professionally trained since they was teenagers or younger. Let me tell y'all who that is. Kimbo Slice. Yeah, Kimbo. Nobody better than Kimbo. Let's get into it. We're gonna react to some Kimbo stuff right now. Let me show you. Today is the day that I bring to you a question that everybody usually has their pick. I also had mine. I realized that we got it all wrong. I got it wrong. I had it wrong. You got it wrong. I'm about to prove it to you. So the question is, who is the rawest, baddest, kick-ass, I'm just talking about baddest motherfucker of all time when it comes to fighting? I'm talking about the meanest, hardest punching, knock a motherfucker out with one punch, leave you bloody and almost dead after the fight. Who would you pick? That goes for professional boxing, UFC. I mean, whatever you want to pick, whatever genre you think. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all what my answer is. I used to always feel like it was Mike Tyson. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all said that. Mike Tyson, right? And we got the proof, even though, he had a downtime and everything. But I'm gonna tell you who I believe it is. This guy here had no training, and he did something very courageous, which is deciding to fight against people who have been professionally trained since they was teenagers or younger. Let me tell y'all who that is. Kimbo Slice. Yeah, Kimbo. Kimbo. Nobody better than Kimbo. Let's get into it. We gonna react to some Kimbo stuff right now. Let me show you. Today is the day that I bring to you a question that everybody usually has their pick. I also had mine. I realized that we got it all wrong. I got it wrong. I had it wrong. You got it wrong. I'm about to prove it to you. So the question is, who is the rawest, baddest, kick ass? I'm just talking about baddest motherfucker of all time when it comes to fighting. I'm talking about the meanest, hardest punching, knock a motherfucker out with one punch, leave you bloody and almost dead after the fight. Who would you pick? That goes for professional boxing, UFC. I mean, whatever you want to pick, whatever genre you think. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all what my answer is. I used to always feel like it was Mike Tyson. I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all said that. Mike Tyson, right? And we got the proof, even though he had a downtime and everything. But I'm gonna tell you who I believe it is. This guy here had no training, and he did something very courageous, which is deciding to fight against people who have been professionally trained since they was teenagers or younger. Let me tell y'all who that is. Kimbo Slice. Yeah, Kimbo. Kimbo. Nobody better than Kimbo. Let's get into it. We gonna react to some Kimbo stuff right now. Let me show you.